Bing, bing, bing. Just tell everyone we're live. Okay. Got it on Discord, Signal. What should I do? Should I give him the sauce on Instagram? Why not? Why not? Let's give him the sauce on Instagram just today. Just today. Okay. Wait, we need music, even if we're posting Instagram. Music invites the flow. Okay, let's do this. Post to Instagram here. What's up, guys? Grand Rising. Everyone hopping in. It's time. Okay, there we go. And paste. And zoom. Done. Cool. Okay, posted. Just the people that see it. Yeah, we got the most of the music I listen to are like movie epics. It's like those movies where you hear the classical music in the background that makes you really get in your feels, you know? That's the type of music I listen to. Usually no lyrics. Usually just like inspirational vibes. So okay. Well, while we're warming up, allowing people to get in. I think I might go through one or two charts, but first I want to know if there's any requests for charts to look at. Definitely have some thoughts to share on mindset a little later, and money. As always talking about money, but it's because it should be something that is fluid. And a lot of people practice scarcity with their money thoughts and actions. And so I'm here to add energy to that. It's abundant. Okay. We don't need to feel scarce. There's so much around us. But if there are no requests, I'll just start with Bitcoin, to be honest. So I've been talking about how we're going to go down for a while now. Thoughts are still the same. I don't think we're coming up. On this last week, we got a candle close that closed below the two bullish weeks before that. So that is what's called an engulfing candle, not only engulfing one candle, but engulfing two bullish candles there. So because it's engulfing, that to me says that the people selling have much more strength. So with crypto, I'm much more interested at looking at the high time frames and not the low time frame. So we can go to the monthly. Yeah, we still have 9 days left in this current monthly chart. But the last monthly candle that closed, it's been, 20 days or so, 21 days. We can very clearly see it didn't fully engulf, but it's very similar size. And I would say it's a continuation candle. On top of that, we can see that the Bollinger Bands kind of have started spreading the last couple months. See how they're spreading apart. So that tells us that there's a sign for continuation on the monthly. Notice the weekly, how we started spreading apart the Bollinger Bands as we moved down. And then when we started moving sideways, the bands start coming together. So the fact that that's the case, they're coming together as we're moving up, there's a good chance that we're going to continue down lower also. So yeah, okay. Bitcoin, first level I got is going to be the top of the wicks of 2019. So I believe that first level is going to be 14,000. I have buys down though to 12,000. 12,000 is that high in August of 2020 before we ended up going up really high. And below that, you know, I see like 9 to 10,000. So first level I would say I'm looking at is 14, maybe even 15K. Gonna give it space, let it roll. But yeah, feels really good, honestly. Like it feels really good for continuation. So in this case, for me, how am I playing this? I'm not selling, I'm not shorting. I'm just waiting for a lower level to buy. So Ethereum would be interesting too now after the merge. Yes. So let's talk about the merge. What is the merge? First of all, the merge made it so that, thank you, by the way, Teresa, for mentioning that. A great point to mention. The Ethereum merge basically made it so that the miners, people who had computers who were providing that service of mining, which is keeping track of the transactions, getting transaction fees, no longer is a thing. Now Ethereum only lives off of staking, okay? Staking is where someone doesn't need to have a computer to add value. To secure the network, they have to hold a bunch of money in an account, and they have to lock it there for a specific amount of time. So the reason now what the heck, you know, that could be something big because that brings the fees down for Ethereum. That makes it so that it's more eco-friendly, right? So what the heck, why is it going down still? Well, we have to think about this. The people who locked or staked their Ethereum for the merge to allow the merge to happen, because that's just like banks hold a lot of funds to keep the financial system moving, right? Banks and governments and stuff. There needs to be a big pool of funds in one area so that money can kind of move around. It's the best, the easiest way. So with staking, I'm not going to say it's the best or easiest way. Bitcoin, you don't have to do that, but this is the way that banks do it. So anyway, bringing it back, that's the way it's been done. And so Ethereum now made it to where people with a specific amount of Ethereum can put their money in, and by staking it, they're going to earn more money. They're going to earn more interest, if you will, off of doing that, and they're paid in Ethereum. But that also means that it was locked for a while. Well, Ethereum needed so much of an amount of Ethereum to be locked in so that the merge would be successful. This transition to lower the fees, make the blockchain more efficient, all that. Well, as soon as the merge was completed, a lot of these people were able to now unlock their Ethereum that had been locked for so long, for like a year while they were working on it, at least. And so now all this unlocked Ethereum kind of is come out to the market. And of course, as the markets are going down, smart investors, people who, you know, want to get the price lower, who want to maybe find a better place to invest or can see the pattern of the chart, you know, they're gonna sell so that they can have USDT or they can have cash so that they can buy lower, right? We can very clearly see same thing on the Ethereum chart here, and actually even more than Bitcoin. The last weekly candle, strong engulfing candle, strong bounce off of the moving average here. So I'd be curious to see. You know, I don't know if Keon will get on today, but if he does, kind of what the fibs are saying with Ethereum and crypto in general. So as of this moment, though, like we can very clearly see that we're in a downtrend. And look at last time we bounced off of the moving average like this. I mean, technically here, but look at what we did over here, right? And how strong we moved down. So just without Fibonacci or anything, we can just logically look at different resistance or support levels. So let me draw some lines here. first line that we have, I can draw right where we're at, which was the top, but obviously we've already broken that. So it's not going to be my level that I wait for. Next level I have for Ethereum is right here, the high of April 2018. We can very clearly see we came up, we hit it as resistance and came down. So this is where my $800 original, I said 600 to 800, but we also have to realize that we just literally bounced off of that support line. And if that support line was actually support, then we would have made a new trend, okay, if it was strong support. So it was a little bit of a support, but not strong enough to completely move and change the trend. So we've already come up and we're now being rejected. So that to me says that when we come back down to this level, it's not going to hold. Because if it was a really, really strong support level, it would hold, right? Or we would have bounced and made a new trend. So that means that people want the price lower. Okay, so then we can look at our next logical levels. And the next level I see is where we saw support here. You can see we came up and then we bounced off the moving average. And I can also line that up with right here where the price came up and paused, went sideways for a little bit. You see that? So that line is right at 627. I can, with this wick, I can even move it down a little bit more to be safe. So we're right at that like $580 to $600 level. We could, just to be aware and, be a good trader, a trader who's not attached to any outcomes, right? Realize that, yes, 600, that's a great price to buy, but also it could go lower. It could go lower. Okay, so knowing that, my next level I see is going to be this rejection level here, this high. Notice how it also sort of lines up with this right here, this pause right here, this resistance here, this support here, and a little bit with this resistance here. So that next level is at 434. Now, do I think that it's going to go lower or going to go that low? Personally, no. But as a trader, once again, just, those are my personal thoughts. I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to follow the trend. Okay. Now, in the grand scheme, I think Ethereum would go to $100,000 one day. Like I genuinely feel that way. But I also feel that Bitcoin will go to like $4 million one day. So when we look back, depending on how you want to trade this, I personally am looking at this as long-term investing. Yes, as I told everyone, I bought some. I out of all my crypto money, I'm about 20% exposed, and I did that at around like 19,000, and then it went up a little bit, and then it's come back down, and I am, let's see, yeah, I'm under my buys. My buys are at like 19.6, 19.7, something like that. So on those buys, I'm definitely going to lose money. But here's the thing is over the average, I'm not going to lose money because you only lose money when you sell. But for a little bit, it's going to look like my investment is less than what I put in. But it's because I want to get the lowest average possible. There was a good chance that we were going to bounce at 19,000. There was a good chance. But also I realized that it wasn't 100% chance. And so that's why I didn't put all my money in. So I'm really happy with where I'm at. The 20%, that I put in to crypto, I'm just going to hold it there. I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to wait. And I realize very, very, very fully that it's very, very probable that Bitcoin goes to 14K, maybe even 12K, and Ethereum goes to like 600 to 800, which is just, it's about 50% of a downward movement. So just know that there's a chance for that. But also we have to realize, if we're a long-term investor, it could be smart. I wouldn't buy at this moment, wait till we get the price action. That's kind of reversed, right? But it could be very smart to buy around these levels because in the grand scheme, it's gonna be huge. Imagine Bitcoin at $1 million. You're gonna be like, who cares if I bought at 20,000 or 40,000? I have it at $1 million. It's not a big difference, right? Same thing with Ethereum. If it's going to 100,000, it's like whether I bought it at 600 or I bought it at 2,000 at 100,000, it's really not going to be that big of a difference to us. On top of that, we're never going to catch. I'm not going to say never, but it's very, very, very unlikely and very improbable that you will catch the absolute bottom and to buy crypto, and that very, very unlikely that you're going to sell at the exact top. Okay, so that's why as traders, we're able to see what the flow is, what's happening with the flow, and we can notice when the flow starts to change. If the flow is consistently moving up, then yeah, of course, we're going to stay in an investment. But as soon as that flow changes up and switches and starts flowing to the downside, well, then we can get out of that investment. So of course, once again, that means that we're probably not going to catch the top, and we might not catch the absolute bottom. But by staying to the side, we can wait until we get more confirmation that says, yes, 99% sure this is going to happen, or, yes, 99% sure you should wait, right? So that's what we're doing. Let's take a pause really quick in charts. And by the way, I'm wide open. So anyone that wants to request a chart, whether it's stock market, crypto, Forex, anything, let me know. I fully intend, I'm going to go back into charts in a little bit. And if you guys really want, if anyone's here to pay attention, I could even go into smaller time frames. I don't usually do that, but I do want to set it up where that's being done consistently through the Ascended Traders. Just we're in a transition phase. Training and making things happen. Building a business is a lot. It takes a long time sometimes for specific things, but can't lie. Sometimes with the Ascended Trader, I'm like, if I just traded, I wonder how much more I would have made. But I once again, I do this because I absolutely love it. And I'm very, very excited about what we're able to create as a team. And so, although trading is very much so to achieve it, it's a very much an individual thing. Okay. It's very much so you have to figure it out on your own to be profitable, to be successful. But we don't have to do that thing alone. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I mentioned in the Signal group, more live streams I know are very, very important, very imperative to this. I know that we're going to all see more success when we can have those consistent live streams where we're meeting consistently. And as Atlantis, as we get that going, I know that's going to do a lot to pull us all together as well. So on that note, for those of you, if you haven't heard yet from Keon, I'm trying to check if there's any. There might only be 2 of you in this group. I'm not going to name names, but if you're a profitable trader, and you're consistent, and you know that if you just stay consistent with your rules, we're having a call tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, 6 p.m. Central, just with the traders, the initial traders that are going to be there for Atlantis. Now, I will say, I'm willing to open this up to everyone else that might want to contribute. So what Atlantis, what this is going to look like over the next few months, just I've given you guys the vision of this is we're going to trade this fund together as a team. And then stage 2, we're going to have available for crowdfunding for different regenerative projects. Also individuals, maybe people who are in a place where they want to start their own business. They don't know how, they just need the right coaching and stuff. We're going to be able to do that. And by investing in them, we're also going to own a part of the business, which will go back. The income from that business will go back to funding Atlantis a bit as well. Go back to the fund. We're also going to be doing some real estate things. We fully intend, and I'm already looking at property here very intently for specifically the main intention is for the group of traders that are trading and contributing this fund. We want to provide some awesome workspaces in many different areas, many different places around the world to come together, be creative. We're going to have chef 24/7. We're going to have smoothies 24/7. So all we got to do is focus on getting in flow, feeling good, and trading, working on the craft. And of course, it's going to be sauna, ice bath. So all these are things that are coming. I'm committed to making them happen, no doubt. But in the meantime, we got to build it together as a team. And we're going to have to go step by step to get there. So the next step is that we all have a meeting together. Once again, tomorrow, 6 p.m. If you are a trader who is profitable consistently, if you're very close to being profitable consistently, or if you're an investor and you want to contribute financially to this fund, and of course you will have ownership as well by contributing financially, that's going to be the next step. We're going to actually have an Atlantis fundraise, if you will. We're going to first make it exclusive for every one of you here, everyone that's a trader that's associated with the Ascended Trader, has been associated with the Ascended Trader. You're going to get the opportunity to invest, and we're making available up to 10% of the Atlantis fund, up to 10%. purchasable. Now, the funds that when you purchase, and we're gonna probably start the minimum investment is gonna be around 5,000 US, and we're gonna allow someone to purchase up to $50,000, which to purchase 1% of the Atlantis fund. Okay, this is just the fund. We're gonna have other fundraising things later on, and these are pretty solid numbers, but like I don't have in writing. What does this mean? So I'm saying for the call tomorrow, if you want to contribute to the Atlantis fund, and within 6 months, I'll say you'll have access to $5,000 that you could invest. Now, this investment, once again, is going to be traded by the team. And if you are also, if you're an investor and also a profitable trader, that means that you will also contribute to trading these funds as they grow. Now, we're exclusively making it available first to you guys, to the traders, to the people that have been associated with the Ascendant Trader from the beginning. And then after that, we are going to open it up public. But we're going to limit this to about 10,000 people. And the lowest investment amount is probably going to be like $250. And that is going to, of course, also contribute to the fund, yes, and to funds that will be traded. But they don't get ownership. That's it. This is for founders traders. We're up to 10% of the fund. So what does that mean? Let's say that we raise $750,000 and you purchase 1% of the fund times 0.01. 1% might cost you right now. It would be about $50,000. But we fully intend to make this public after about a year or so of trading and building this consistently. We're going to make this publicly available forever for everyone, and anyone, even if you only have $10, you can contribute. So if you were to purchase $50,000 right now, and judging off of other funds and what they've been able to do in this space, and for instance, Three Arrows Capital, they're the ones that went under. When Luna died, they funded Luna basically, and they basically died. They got their fund in the matter of like 8 or 9 years, from $1 million up to about 18 billion. And they only invested in crypto, and they invested in some crazy ones. They did some dumb NFT drops. There was this one called Crypto Dick Butt that they came out with. It's just so dumb. The art's dumb. There's no use case, nothing. And this type of tomfoolery achieved $18 billion not in revenue, but in value of the fund. 18 billion. Okay. Then you have companies like BlackRock who are doing awesome things and buying big companies, maybe not so awesome things, but big company. They're worth $10 trillion. They manage $10 trillion. It's a similar idea of a fund, except they're the old school way of money. So if we simply got this up to $1 billion fund, now I'm visualizing something that we can create. Like if we just stay consistent with what we're doing, having the real estate properties, doing the crowdfunding. There's other partnerships that I haven't even mentioned yet, but imagine having access to everything. In being a member of Atlantis, imagine having access to everything: properties around the world, cars you want to drive, jets you want to fly on. You just have access to it, but you don't have to own it. How cool would that be? So that's the full intention. But right now, let's see, 10 billion times 0.1. Just want to do the math of when this is at a, oh, I did that wrong. Okay, 10 million. So if we get this up to simply just a $10 million fund, which is really tiny in this world. I know we think about it and it sounds big, but this is what I'm telling you guys, because I'm looking at all the names on here and every one of you are heart-centered, and I know that you guys all want to contribute to something bigger than you. But of course, you have to be taken care of. So this is what my intentions for Atlantis are, to do that, are to make it so that you are taken care of. Your housing, your cars, jets, all of that. I want you to be able to, you travel and you don't have to think twice about it. And especially if you're trading in the fund, you're going to make money. But right now, I know some of you might not have access to $50,000, and that's okay. But let's just say that we got it up to a $1 billion fund. If you had invested $50,000 in the beginning, that would be a $10 million return for you. So $50,000 would be worth about $10 million at just $1 billion fund. That's tiny. If we can do other things that, for instance, let's talk about Three Arrows Capital. Three Arrows Capital that built up to $18 billion in about 10 years. And they were only doing crypto and high risk crypto as well. They were just being really dumb with the money. They were trading with leverage. We're not going to do that. They had nothing physical. They had no physical real estate. They had they didn't own physical businesses, nothing. It was all crypto. Okay. So if we just got this fund up to a $10 billion fund, which is not crazy, especially with the assets that we're looking at. And I know with how we're going to market this, like we'll be able to come up with $10 billion just from people investing, let alone what we can create by investing in these other businesses, by investing in this real estate, by partnering with airline companies, private jet companies. And of course, the holy grail of us trading together as a team to grow this, $10 billion is nothing. All right. So let's just be honest. But if you were to purchase 1% of the fund here now in the next 6 months, and we got it up to a $10 billion fund, which is still tiny, very, very tiny. Elon Musk, one person, his net worth is like 280, maybe $300 billion. We're talking 10 billion. So it's literally nothing for a group of us. But buying 1% of Atlantis when it becomes available in the next 6 months at 50,000 in about 10 years, that would net you, if you own 1% at a $10 billion fund, you would be 100 millionaire. Okay. And this isn't crazy. So let's just do the math on 5,000 US dollars. I know I did 50,000. Some of you on here I know may not have access to 50,000 right now, and that's okay. But $5,000, you'd be able to purchase 0.1%. So 0.1% for 5,000. 0.1 or 0.001 times. So bing. Okay. So if you invested $5,000 in Atlantis and we got it up to a $10 billion fund, which I very clearly described to you is absolutely nothing. Bitcoin value in and of itself got to $1.5 trillion. Okay. So anyways, a $5,000 investment into Atlantis within the next 6 months would net you $10 million. Probably I'm gonna say within 20 years, but I think we could do it in 7 to 10. Being super realistic. Yes, so I love it. Teresa, she sent a private message if you asking about being a part of the call, even though she's not profitable yet. So yes, if you feel called to anything I mentioned and the things that we're gonna do, like here's the vision. I know I'm talking about the money because it tends to be what a lot of people think about. It's going to be so abundant and profitable for everyone. That's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is the fact that this world, banks and all financial institutions and governments, the way they've run money has been so scarce for so long. It's been so controlling and it hasn't benefited the most of the people. Right. And so now I believe with this shift, with the changing of the equinoxes, us coming into this age of Aquarius, either we're in it or we're in the process. I think we're in it. There is a shift in energies. And we now have the chance as a collective to come up with new systems, which we're doing. We're creating new systems. And what I believe is that it's going to be, and this is new systems in all ways, not just the financial systems, but yes, like that's for me specifically, that's something that my energy is going towards. And that I'm focused on. And so you guys have heard me talk about token of me. That's going to be the next level of earning just from earning from doing what you love. That's of course the next level. And I'm super excited about that. And that'll play a big part in everything that we do. Okay. And if you don't know about token of me, go to tokenofme.io, check it out. But what I'm getting at is I foresee that Atlantis Imagine anyone that wants to invest. There's hedge funds that you make a good return. You have to have $1 million net worth, sometimes $10 million net worth, if you want to even talk to them and invest. And that sucks because those have the best returns for sure, and no one else gets access. So if I come here to Mexico, a local Mexican who wants to get into this new movement, this new world that we're creating, especially the financial world, the cryptocurrency part of it, and of course this world's changing a lot, all the ways. If they only have 200 pesos to invest, $10, they're not able to actually do that. Okay, and something that's going to give them a good return. They can earn 2% return on their $10 in a year, but oh my gosh, like we all know that's horrible. If you've been trading longer than 6 months, you know that 2% in a year is horrible. 12% in a year is horrible. 50% in a year is even pretty questionable. It's decent, but as a trader, we all know that we could do much better if we're focused, right? And if we're in the flow state, no doubt. We've all done it if we've been going consistently, okay? So having said that, I want to create this space where people can, they can create, not only if they want to start their own business, they have an opportunity now to get funded. Okay. If they want to just invest and watch their money grow, they can invest in other businesses around the world, or in Atlantis, where we're always constantly trading the funds and doing all the different things we're going to be doing with the money to grow their investment so that they can get a return consistently. We intend to pay a return monthly. And of course, we got to see what we can all do together with trading to initially see what we can start to offer, especially before we raise the funds to start going in on real estate and things. But I fully intend to offer anywhere from 3 to 5% return monthly for these people, for everyone. Okay. And so we know that we can get much more than that. I just got off a call with Sam. Sam's not on this live stream right now, but he's in the Signal group. And Sam, I've been coaching him now for 2.5 months. And I mentioned to a couple of you on a call this week because I was so stoked about it. This call was on Monday. And he basically had taken a break from trading, like 4 or 5 days off, because he's like, yeah, dude, I was flowing, I was doing good, and then I got one big loss, and I was like, oh shit, I need to take a break. So he was taking a break. Well, what we come to find is I looked at his account. That one big loss was because he thought he put his stop loss in. He was in the app on MetaTrader and he clicked it and he drug it up and he let go, but it didn't save. Dang it. So the stop loss didn't save. And so when he hopped into his account, he looked at the trade and he was down 2,500. He's like, oh, frick, dude. So he already closed it. So he had a $2,500 loss. Now on this account on September 9th, he had deposited $10,000. And this loss happened on the 14th, I believe, maybe the 13th. So the 13th. So it was 4 days later. What he had done in 4 days is he had built that $10,000 account up to $16,000 in 4 days, and then he lost 2,500. So when I looked at the account, when he showed it to me on Monday, which was about 10 days later, it was at about 14,000 he had put $10,000 in on the 9th. So if we do the full math out of those 10 days, now he took 5 days off because he was like, oh, dang it, big loss, which he wouldn't have even been down had he put a stop loss, right? And so he wouldn't be down crazy. What I'm getting at is at one point he was 60% up in 4 days, but overall he was in 10 days, he was up about 40%. And so we all know that when we're in flow, we can do really, really well. We can do powerful things in the charts. But now imagine, if we all come together, because I'm not in flow all the time, and even if I am, I have so many things I'm doing, brainstorming Atlantis, brainstorming this other blockchain thing I'm doing, working with Tokenomiya a bit, coaching, of course, trading, all the things that we're doing, creating content. So I don't always have the space to go into charts. I'm working my way back I want to be able to really focus, especially with Atlantis coming. But that's why all of us together as a team, with the right people, with the right mindset, we can all make some amazing thing happens and do so many powerful things for the earth. The money, the return that you could experience is, it's powerful. But what's so much more powerful is the strength, the money, the tools that we will have to make an impact on the earth. especially if we're only funding regenerative projects, you know, and we're going to have a team of people who are flying around the world to just go search for those specific projects that are making a big impact, and can also be profitable, because that's the best thing about all this is we can do amazing things for the world and it can be a win-win for everyone. And money isn't good, money isn't bad, money is just money. It's a tool, and it's an efficient and an inefficient tool. The old money, luckily we have new programmable money with crypto. It's much more powerful and more up to speed with where the world's going, but we haven't fully adopted it yet as a society. So you know, we got to gain some of those old dollars to still have some impact on this earth. You know, it's not the only way, but it's one of the easiest ways, you know, in this world. If you got money, it's like anything's for sale for the right price. You know, I've heard that quote a lot. And so it's that same mindset that so many people have attachment to money and have put value to it. And so that's why we can see some power there. So anyways, I went off on a tangent there. So to wrap that up, if you feel like with what I've explained with Atlantis, if that's something that you'd want to be a part of, even if you're not a profitable trader, that is okay. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to invite you to the call. I'm going to post it to the Signal group. I'll post a link to the call. And if you are profitable, that's fine. But if you want to contribute in any way, even if you don't have the finances to do it, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, that's going to be the time to hop on that call, okay? And to contribute, and you can chat, you can hear more about what we're doing. And then we can, of course, make it very clear what the next steps heading, or where we're headed next. So I've already kind of done that. You already have a good idea, but we're flowing, we're working. So I had two questions in the meantime. Cole asked, any long-term cryptos you're investing in? So right now, just waiting to see what happens. So I would absolutely love, let me share my screen. I would love to see Solana. I would love to see Solana come down to that $19, if not even $15. 15 would be absolutely beautiful. The reason I say 15 is because we kind of have, you know, I have this yellow line drawn at the $19 line where we saw support there and resistance. But this whole wick here, since I'm on the weekly, I would count this as a liquidity area, like a potential area for us to buy. So to me, because this happened on the way up, strong resistance, this is an area for us to buy potentially. So for me, for Solana, I really like corn. Have you guys seen that meme yet? The corn kid? If you haven't seen the corn kid, oh my gosh, you're missing out. Such a cute kid. And they made this song out of it. And it's like blown up on TikTok and YouTube. So, but I'm expecting this area for Solana. And so, you know, I can look at all the crypto charts, look the exact same, you know, and that same area looks good for Bitcoin. Same area looks good for Ethereum, you know, down low. So long-term holding Solana. I think that, you know, although Ethereum's big, it's got history and they've got momentum, you know, it will definitely grow. I think Solana is a much better investment because it's newer and the people behind it, you never go against Sam. Sam Bankman-Fried, if you don't know who he is, check him out. He founded Alameda Research. Alameda Research did some crazy things in the crypto space, like 2017, just with trading. They were trading on BitMEX. They were doing arbitrage, tons of arbitrage. They were pocketing like $1 million a day for a while, doing arbitrage trading. Arbitrage is where you know, they would find a broker, maybe let's say in Korea, that had a really low price for Bitcoin. Like let's say the price was at 15,000. And then they would have a broker in Japan who was selling it for 17,000. So there was this gap. And so because there's not a lot of volume, they were able to take Bitcoin or crypto from one market and then take it to another and just immediately sell it for more money, just because there was a difference in the price on the different exchanges. So that's what's called arbitrage. And so he made millions and millions and millions of doing that, billions probably. And he was able to start FTX. Sam is the youngest billionaire ever. He holds the record for that. So he is the man. I make a joke and I say that, Solana logo is an S, of course. That's the Solana logo. I make jokes and say that the S stands for Sam, because he's funding it. And so I wouldn't, this man's a genius. Absolutely. He, once again, he founded FTX. They also, they own a bunch of stuff now. They've bought a bunch of companies in crypto since the down market. They've just been buying companies left and right. And yeah, they're going to make sure that Solana is successful. Solana has proven, I haven't seen yet another blockchain that has proven to do as many transactions as it has. Solana, yes, it's went down a few times. That's a lot of people's argument is like, well, Solana can't even keep the blockchain running. And the way I see it is when I'm investing in something, I look at the team behind it and I look at what they're doing. And to me, the fact that it has been shut down a couple times, it's been overloaded a couple times. But to me, like, look, in 10 years from now, no one's going to talk about this. No one's going to even know about that, the fact that it shut down. To me, the fact that it's happening now says we're so early, because with all these errors happening, of course, they're going to fix it. They have unlimited money, basically. They found the money cheat code, and they can throw as much money as they need to fix any errors in Solana. But Solana has proven to be able to do more transactions than any other blockchain I've seen. They, one of the times they went down, it maxed out at over like 500,000 transactions per second, and it locked the blockchain up and it stopped it. And that was actually, they say, an attack. And some sources think that it was Charlie Hoskinson, which is the guy who invented Cardano. And so, yeah, anyway, who knows what the truth is, but Visa and MasterCard, they can only process 24,000 transactions per second. Visa does 24,000. MasterCard's like 21,000 or 18,000, something like that. Solana can do 400,000. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I love Solana. It can do everything that anything else can do. And it's really fast, and it's got a great team behind it. Ethereum, yes, it will succeed, but Solana is at $30. Buying Solana at $30, which it could even go down to 15, to me, it's like buying Ethereum at like 150, something like that, imagine, right? So you might even get the chance. I don't think it'll go that low, but it's a lot of people with crypto, by the way, I have to mention on this idea of the markets going down. Like, I could be completely wrong. I want to say that it, like, everything could bounce here, but I want to tell you the reason why I don't think that I'm wrong is because I've seen this before. I've been present for now 2 bull markets, all the way up, all the way down. We haven't seen all the way down the second time, so I'll say that, but we've definitely gone down. And no matter how low it goes and you think that it's done, it can go lower. Okay, trust me, I've lost tens of thousands of dollars trying to buy the dip. Okay, lost so much money doing it. Not this time, but last time, yeah, kept buying the dip, and the dip just kept dipping. For those of you that just got into crypto and you didn't see the last 3 years before of bearish, for me, most of it was kind of hellish, because I was so attached and I thought I knew everything, because I got into crypto way back in 2016, like late 2016. So like I said, I got to watch this whole upward movement, but that means I was also present for all this. And it was around, 2019, this area, where I finally started trading Forex. And this whole time I was trying to trade crypto, and I just kept the dip. See, here we go. Look at first dip. You already know I bought that, went up, and then it dipped more. Bought more on that dip. Went up, it dipped more. I bought more on that dip too. And went up a little bit, and then just went down. And then this one, I thought for sure we were coming back. And once again, look at how bad it went. And so I saw all this, and it was finally when we started to kind of head up, 2019, I started trading Forex in this area. And I stopped trying to buy the dip on crypto after I had lost already probably 40 grand. And so I've seen this, okay? Literally, guys, Ethereum was down below $100. Do you realize in 2020, March 2020, you could have bought Ethereum for $89 if you were paying attention. And it went all the way up to what? 47.50. Wow, almost 5K, $4,800. So what I'm getting at is no matter how low it goes, just remember, no matter what cryptocurrency you're in, I don't care what you think. I don't care who you think's behind it. It can go lower, and there's a chance that it will too. Okay? So just coming from experience, once again, I point this in emphasis. Yes, this means XRP. Yes, this means Solana. Yes, this means Bitcoin. Yes, this means Shiba Inu. If the market's going down, nobody's safe. Okay? No one is safe. So long answer, Cole, to your question, what are the long-term cryptos? Saber, I've stopped buying. I still have it. Saw some bad news on Saber, and who knows? To me, I already planned though. I'm like, I can keep this 10 years. So when the next bull run happens, we'll see if it starts to pick up. As of this moment, not buying any more of anything. Let's look at XRP. XRP's pumped a little bit. Watch me eat my words, and XRP pumps. I'm like, nothing's safe, and then XRP just goes. Yeah, it could be funny. XRP is definitely moving up a bit. We saw some bullish movement up here, and it kind of a fake out that happened. So this actually, we are showing signs of bullish price action here on XRP. Now this could be because of a couple of reasons. So I do want to be ultra clear on XRP with what I believe with what's happening. Where do we find this? SEC and we don't want the SEC. We want the central banks. Ripple Labs. So actually, there are some things in the news, and also, oh shoot. Some people who I've seen some evidence where central banks actually have posted some information, but basically they might be using Ripple's technology, XRP's technology, for central banks. And there's a lot of people who are on the board of the IMF. Not a lot. I think there's a couple people on the board of the IMF that were part of Ripple. So what I would say is when it comes down to XRP and being part of the new financial system of the elites of the world, of the global financial system, it's very possible that this will be the project to do that. Very, very possible. I want to say that. At the same time, morally, I choose personally. I vote with my money. That's how we vote in this world. And so for me, crypto is about freedom. Crypto is about freedom of transacting. And if XRP is working with the central banks and the International Monetary Fund, they are directly making it so that blockchain, which is intended to bring freedom of financial transactions to everyone without having banks as the middleman, it's effectively taking that technology and using it for banks and for elites, for governments, I want to say, to use to keep track of all transactions, to get rid of cash, and to know that every time you're spending $1, you take a bunch of cash out of the ATM and you buy stuff on Craigslist and all that, no one's going to know, right? But except you and the person you transacted with. But when you're using a central bank digital coin, they're going to know everything. Every transaction is going to be tracked, and of course they have AI that's going to help them to know exactly what's going on and where, and they can research whoever, and the government's gonna be able to say, hey, I want to see every transaction over $100, and they're going to be able to see that. So here's the thing. As much as things say that XRP, and I'm saying the technology, I don't know if XRP, the coin itself, will be used as for money, for international money, or even for the US dollar. But I do believe that the technology and they can copy and paste the blockchain really easy. I believe that potentially will be used by banks. But here's the thing. Do we want to put our money into these banks who have controlled and committed fraud and destroyed the lives of so many people over thousands and thousands of years, or the governments who have been so corrupt, taking all the money? And in the US, wage taxes used to be completely illegal, but they changed that after World War II because they wanted more money. And ever since then, the US has been so dishonest and putting so much money in places that it doesn't need to go. Okay. And so we're literally by doing that, even though all of us as a society, we know that we need a new financial system. So of course we see crypto, and of course it makes sense and we can feel the vibration of it. But then you're telling me that the reason by the way, we know we need a new financial system because we know it's been totally corrupt for hundreds, maybe thousands of years, the same type of system. And you're saying, and people are saying, I have a lot of friends, all my friends that really are into XRP, are like, yeah, buy XRP, buy XRP, buy XRP. Why would I put my money, give more power and more wealth, even though I know that my little bit isn't going to change whatever they do, right? You know, I don't have trillions of dollars. It's not going to change what they do. Why would I give them any bit of my power, any bit of my energy? I don't agree with it whatsoever. I believe that all we really need is, like, honestly, for money, Bitcoin. I believe the whole world should just run off of Bitcoin, and that's the way that we transact. And the rest of these projects are the way that we do everything else. Ethereum, you know, that's where we host our websites, where we host bunch of data, things like that. Much more efficient than the internet, and it's decentralized. Okay, mostly Ethereum's not super decentralized at the moment, but it'll get it back definitely. After the merge, there's a lot of money in just like a couple areas, you know. So Bitcoin is freedom. Okay, XRP sponsored by your local bank and your local central banking system. Why would I want to be a part of that whatsoever? Like, I just personally don't. But on that note, profits don't care about politics. So if you want to make money, yeah, you can invest in all of them. Teresa, hey.
Hi, Cody. Amazing information. Thank you so much. I would like to ask a question in regards to Bitcoin. I am a Bitcoin maximalist, I understand so far.
Yeah, okay.
And I was in New York for several weeks now, and I know a lot of people there who are also in the financial industry, also in Wall Street, and I had so many tough conversations. Oh my God, I should actually have blue bruises all over, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God. It doesn't matter what I said. It was just like, bam, bam, Bitcoin is bad, and everything bad, and I was like really shaking inside because being in Tulum for all of those months now, nobody hates Bitcoin or
I
nobody.
know it's a different, and that's we're looking at the frequency of it too. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
So
it's
it really, really challenging. So there's one question that I was really so frustrated. I was like, God damn it, how am I going to compete with that, or what can I say now? So there was this one thing which was in regards to energy. They kept on pounding on this, that it's very bad for the energy. And the other thing was that many of them said, you know what, they're going to just buy all of the Bitcoin. The same people who now run the system, they will just everything that is there, and then you guys will see nothing is going to come up. Bitcoin is not going to change this world. Power was always there, and war was always there, and there's nothing you guys can do, and this is just the same like the tulip bubble. And I was just like,
yeah, of course.
what am I going to say now, you know? So I was just like, look, I understand that you guys see it that way. I don't, and I feel hope should die last. And if there's one thing on this lifetime that I should do, I will be on the side of the freedom and peacemakers.
Yes.
And I believe we will succeed. And if I keep on saying it was always like that, there's nothing to succeed, then of course we will not make it. But I would love from you, what would you have said, or what are your comments to that?
Yeah, great question. Well, first of all, to be honest, I reached this point now where I have strong opinions, of course, and I used to share them with everyone, and now I don't as much. But when it comes to those types of conversations, the first thing I do is I ask them, are you open at all to, if you had enough information, would you change your mind? Are you open to the fact that there might be a different way of thinking or being? And that answer to that question will tell me whether it's even worth it to continue having a conversation. What I would say is that someone, first of all, what it's going to do is if they may have been open to changing their mind, but they're really, really definitive on their viewpoint, by asking them that, you're gonna catch them off guard and they're gonna actually open up. That's one thing that could happen. The other thing is they're gonna be like, well, no, because I know that what I'm saying is right. Like, okay, well, you don't even want to waste your breath on someone like that, because the reason why, people like us we love Bitcoin, we love crypto, is because we were open to the fact that there's probably a better way to do things out there. Okay. And so anyone who's not open to it, by saying, no, my point is the way it is, which lately I've had a lot of experience with Christians in the same way. Many people who are devout Christian, it's like, that's the way it is. And no matter what you say, they're not going to change their mind. Doesn't matter. They've dedicated. And so it's a waste of breath to try to even talk to those people because they're not open. And so that's why I asked that. It's like, okay, are you actually open? Would you actually change your opinion? No. Okay. Well, I'm not going to waste my breath with someone who is closed off because you're not even open to expanding. You believe that you know everything and that you've reached the peak. And let me tell you that this life forever, we're always continually growing and expanding. Even source, creator, God is expanding. And this is one way is represented as how the universe is constantly expanding. You know what I'm saying? So to me, if they would have, if they were open, then okay. If they're not, though, just asking that question could have saved you a ton of time. But on top of that, you have to ask what their beloved US dollars, where do they get their value? That's the one thing I always ask people is where do those US dollars get their value? And well, from the government. Well, it's paper though. So like the government's printing, but why if I go print a picture of $100 bill, can I not use it at the store? It's different, right? It's because, and the truth is that because the reason why dollars or euros or anything have value is because enough people have bought into the fact that, hey, this is value. I'm willing to accept this at my business. I'm willing to accept this here or there. Well, if you start traveling, especially in South America and Central America, here in Mexico and Guatemala, El Salvador, you can use Bitcoin to freaking buy McDonald's. You can use Bitcoin to buy your clothes. So this is the same thing where people are starting to adopt and realize, okay, actually I can accept Bitcoin as a form of payment and use it as a form of payment. So the challenge with it though is that because it's, right now it's still being counted for the most part in US dollars. When people look at crypto, it's because it's out of, hey, how much will I make out of my investment? If I put money in, how much money will I get out? How much US dollars or euros or pounds will I make by putting my money in here? And so that's why the price, it fluctuates so much because people are still looking to do that. But now as over the last, Bitcoin's been around since 2009. We're talking 13 years now. Are you joking? 13 years. And it's already been adopted by a country as a currency, and a couple of cities in Switzerland, and a couple other countries are looking at it. So if people are still ignorant after the fact, El Salvador said, hey, we recognize Bitcoin as a national currency equal to the peso. I think they do pesos there. If that doesn't wake someone up, then who cares? It doesn't matter, So it's just the way it's going. We have to realize we're going to a more digital world. All our communication is digital. We don't, meeting in person, we still do it, but it's not as often, And so, yeah, dial-up has been around since 1982. I love that.
So what was the comment that I heard funny like 2 or 3 times from these guys? And they said, Teresa, they already seen that Bitcoin became too dangerous. So they are very aware of it. And the people in power going to make sure that this thing is going to be killed. Meaning they have enough money, they will buy it, and then they're just not going to use it. So you guys, your Bitcoin people or your crypto people, you will stay there. Nothing is going to happen.
Yeah, right. See, but there's too many billionaires that own Bitcoin that are dedicated to its success. So that's the thing is, those people, you have to realize that they're probably the same type of people that watch the news. You know, they're probably the same type of people that they watch Fox News or CNN, and they probably fight over, you know, which is better, Biden or Trump, you know, like similar type of people. And so if they're that type, like to me, it's just they're following the old world. You know, they're right in the old world. That's the way it works. But we're in a new world now, and in this new world is coming to fruition. It just takes time. You know, old things take time to die off. But yeah, you know, like they've tried. Their arguments are the same arguments, the things that you said, like, oh, that's gonna get crushed, Bitcoin's gonna die, you know, blah blah blah. These are the same arguments that have been going on. I've read since the beginning, since like 2013. I personally wasn't in crypto till 2016, and I will tell you that 2016, 2017, and when it was going, especially when it was going down in 2018, everyone was like, oh, Bitcoin's dead, it's done, it's over, you know. And here we go, we end up going to 70K. I didn't think that was going to happen, and that's why you know, was so attached to crypto as well. And I had to let go because I actually firmly was starting to think it got me. I was like, dang, maybe crypto is dead. I put all this money in, it's never come back, you know, because I was valuing it based off of the dollar amount that I had received back. And very clearly I was, you know, ended up being wrong over time. So yeah, it's that's the thing, is the people that still believe, you know, and there's other things that are happening, sign of the times. Like I think the queen was kind of I just didn't like her energy. Just don't feel good about the queen when I think about her. Never met her, I don't know, never had really much experience of her, but you know, her passing, that's one example. Someone like, you know, Jeffrey Epstein went to jail, that's one example. You know, Joe Biden's son, the fact that all his stuff and the gross things he did, you know, as a vice president's son, like the fact that that all became public, like this old stuff that has been going on, it's losing power, it's losing strength in this world, and that's just because it's the precession of the equinoxes. This is naturally a natural expansion, you know, and Celestine Prophecy, that book also kind of talks about this stuff going on. I do think that even the Celestine Prophecy, though, doesn't have full truth. You know, I even think that was a lot of, like, some of the truth was edited out, some of the experiences there. But even so, beyond the point, we're in a new world. And you know, I'm not going to say that Bitcoin for sure is it. And as a trader, as a logical human, I hedge myself, you know. Of course, I still have US dollars, you know. Of course, I have some crypto as well. Of course, I have pesos as well. So I hedge my bets in different ways. But what we think about what gives the money value, it's that enough people believe in it. And I have witnessed how thousands and thousands, if not millions of people really believe in Bitcoin. And that grows by the day. There's no inflation. You cannot inflate Bitcoin. The US is at 8 point something% inflation, highest it's ever been, and it's about to get to 10%. Like, what the, like, this is crazy. And people think that Bitcoin's gonna die. Like, good luck. Good luck with that. So yeah. Thank you for
Next time I take you with me to New York City.
yeah, just take me. It'll probably just be like, hey, you guys open? No? Okay, we'll move on. And you and I'll have a private lunch, you know? That's it. There's a lot of people
Look,
like that.
I am so convinced like you are, even though I won't be able in the moment to express that, but inside my heart, I know it's the right thing, and just pull back then and I keep on walking. I feel very strongly that in a few years we will know who was right.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is when they're the loudest, that's how we know it's the time to start buying. So the fact that they're talking and the people who are talking down on Bitcoin are confident, when they're the loudest, when you start seeing everyone around you, when you even start seeing people who you know from Crypto Club start saying, you know, crypto's dead, you know, it's over, that's the time to start buying. That's all the time to buy. So there's a few comments. Brandon, thank you, said dial-up has been around since 1992. Exactly. You know, it's like 20. Are you kidding me? 20, I'm not 20, 30 years. That's it. 30 years. And look how advanced. We literally have quantum computing now. I know it's not public, but it's for sure on this earth. And we have metaverses now where we can do whatever we want. We can literally be gods in the freaking metaverse. We can fly around, do whatever. So, and it's only been 30 years for the internet to completely change our world forever. And how many people were talking shit on email? You know, like, get out of here. To the real people in power created Bitcoin to me. Yeah, this is the new one. But the thing is, Bitcoin could have also been created by CIA. But even so, even if it was, the technology of blockchain, even it ends up not being Bitcoin, blockchain's not going anywhere. You know, if FTX sponsors MLB, right? Crypto.com sponsored the Super Bowl. Coinbase sponsored the Super Bowl. Like, crypto is going absolutely nowhere but up over time. There's just no way. You know, we didn't have that in 2017. There was no Super Bowl. There's no countries that adopted it. The old power grid is lost. Love and freedom always wins in the end. Yeah, you know, and I agree with that. And I do want to say though, like, even zooming out, winning, losing, dark and light, good and bad, you know, just zooming out, it's like these are all part of the whole. And for the rest of eternity, there's going to always be this balance of white and, you know, like dark and light and good and bad, right? And so, like, it's just, you got to realize that this balance of good and bad, you know, good and evil, it's just part of the earth, part of the 3D world that's been created for us to experience, because we can't go through and have good experiences and know that it's a good experience unless we've had a bad experience, right? We're not able to do it. And so we have to know dark to know light. We just simply have to. We have to know sadness to be able to respect happiness, and that's how we grow as a spirit being. But you know, I do believe that the true creator, God, is all of it. The creator, if you know, we can really think about that. If the infinite, you know, source, if it's this crazy intelligent super AI, you know, it's how we could look at it. We could also look at it like a floating being in the sky, but I just see it as this infinite consciousness where all is connected. Well, that means this infinite consciousness, whatever started it, or it created this earth, it also created the bad, created the good and the bad. Okay. And so that means that, you know, eventually our goal, our intention as a spirit being is to raise outside of that duality, and realize that it's all part of the whole. So, but once again, while we're on this earth, we do have the duality and just part of it. So, but yeah, go ahead.
Are you able to add a comment in regards to war? Because that was definitely also one thing that I kept on noticing, that I don't have enough comments to make. And it felt always to me that everyone keeps on saying, well, but there was always war, and there will be always war, and there's nothing you can do, and we can't go away from wars.
Yeah, good question. I think that is a frequency. I think that this earth and the higher dimensions and the lower dimensions we are able to perceive them, and that it's a frequency. So how do I describe that? Based off of our internal thoughts, feelings, actions, our subconscious programming, our beliefs, we create our world. So subconsciously, you know, for instance, like I played a lot of war video games when I was a kid. And so all that stuff is in my subconscious. And so I contributed energy towards killing, towards war, towards fighting by putting my energy into a video game where I was literally killing other humans in this video, fake humans, you know, but I was doing that. And there's video games now that still exist in the same way, and they do that. Fortnite is one of the biggest games out there, probably if not the biggest game out there right now. And what do you do in Fortnite? You run around, you shoot, and you kill people, you know, and that's just what you do. And so I realized, though, you know, I've heard people talk about war, you know, and I've seen lots of documentaries on war, and I've seen old war artifacts, you know, and traveling to different places. But let me tell you that I'm only 28 years old in this lifetime. So, you know, I got a lot of experience left, and anything can happen. I'm open to that. But war doesn't come into my space really. And I don't witness it. I like stand up right now, looking out these windows. I see beautiful trees. I don't see any battling or fighting. But also, I don't put my energy into battling or fighting. This is why I don't own a gun. You know, I don't own a gun because just by owning a gun, I am subscribing to the frequency of guns. and everything associated with that frequency. And so by not owning a gun, I'm unsubscribing to that frequency as much as possible. Now, does that mean that someone could overpower me if they had a gun? Sure. But I also believe that if I keep my mindset, that my willpower, well, number one, I believe this everything, since everything is energy, nothing's actually physical. None of this is real. This is, to me, this is like a virtual game. And my spirit came down into this body to experience, and my body is like the controller of this game. Okay. And so in my eyes, I believe that because this is a game, I can create it. And so as long as I keep my heart pure, my mind focused, if I'm not wishing negative things on other humans, then it's very, very unlikely that I will be ever in a situation where someone is wanting to wish down on me. So if I don't try to overpower people, then I probably won't have the experience of people trying to overpower me. Now, on top of that, I do realize just protecting ourselves and the way that we gain more and more and raise our frequency higher and higher, and is by fully sustaining ourselves in all ways possible, getting ourselves disconnected from any system. If that means that if you own a house, having it off grid, that means if you eat food, growing your own food, that means money, not relying on money, even if you can, using a money that is adopted by everyone and not controlled by anyone, like Bitcoin. So long answer, yes, war, obviously, in my consciousness, I have never personally in this lifetime seen war, but it obviously exists. I know I've met people who've been to it. I've met people messed up from war. And what I would say also, though, it's like those people, in a way, they kind of subscribe to that, like through karma or through thought patterns, through whatever. And so the United States and most countries, for instance, are really, really good at kind of brainwashing their people. Like, for instance, in the US, where I grew up, every day at school, we did what was called the Pledge of Allegiance. That sounds so dictatorship. And now, like, when I think about that, the Pledge of Allegiance, holy shit, that sounds like a Hitler type thing. That's literally what it's called. And I still remember it because we had to say every day when we went to school, a bell rang. And as soon as you hear that sound, ding, everyone gets up. They broadcast through the whole school. Everyone's doing the Pledge of Allegiance. And if you don't do it, teachers yelling at you, Cody, what are you doing? Stand up, put your hand on your heart. You know what I'm saying? And so when that is brainwashed in people, that I value this country more than my own life, then they're going to do things like sign up for the military so that they can go over and fight. I'm fighting for freedom. I can kill these other people because it's for freedom. And they're going to vouch for that. It's for my country, for America. And so to me, I just don't, I believe that we can create a world without that. And I do also believe that we're moving more to a world where physical war I believe may happen less and less and less, because now there's artificial intelligence. And I actually believe, this is my opinion, that China has been in a digital and a silent war on America for a long time. I believe that China has been paying off politicians in the US for a long time, collecting information on them. I believe that through Samsung, yes, but also through different, like Huawei and different Chinese companies. There's also a lot of surveillance going on all through the US. There's, nanobots exist, like all these things are happening. So to me, what I realize is that by watching news, by subscribing, by being a part of that, by putting my energy into that, I'm contributing and making it bigger. So whether or not something exists, or whether or not it has the potential to exist in my life, I would rather, instead of focusing on what could happen that would be something that I actually wouldn't want to experience, I'd rather put my energy and focus into the things that I do want to experience. So anyone that to me is talking about events, talking about wars, talking about battle, talking about this and that, I think that their consciousness is not in the right space. And even those who are, and they claim, I'm a spiritual warrior. It's like, I actually, as a spiritual being, the more I grow and expand spiritually, I realize how actually dumb the battling is, like I would rather, instead of going to spiritual war, I would rather raise the battlefield to a frequency where there's no fighting at all. And so the way I see it is, it's kind of a long answer. Yeah, it's been on this world probably, and everything that I can do to unsubscribe to that, even playing like games, like it's good to be competitive, I think, but there's different ways that we can compete. War is an ego thing, right? And a lot of people use money to expand or to magnify their ego. And so as we grow into this new era of the world where consciousness is reigning supreme more and more, this second coming of Christ consciousness, if you will, we're going to realize more and more that people are they're living from spirit, and not as many people are going to need to show their ego off, and that's just the way that I see it. And even if not, there's plenty of places all over the world where us conscious, we're going to say conscious, and I want to be humble too, because I don't want to brag, say, oh yeah, I'm conscious, because I realize I have so much to learn and so much farther to go. So like, it's, I don't want to even say that, but just to be clear, but we will create communities, as we already have, where we can go be safe. And this is a big part of what I also envision what Atlantis can do. When we build these places in these safe spaces all over the world where you can stay, you don't have to think about anything. You don't have to think about food or, worry about cleaning, or anything like that. We're going to be able to build community. We're going to be able to be much closer, much tighter. And we're going to have also the strength to operate in this old 3D world, because we'll have created the 3D finances, but we're creating this new 5D or higher mentality of just, community, where we all, once again, we have access to everything. Okay, I want to go take a private flight to Europe. Okay, cool. Atlantis, who I'm a part of and I contribute to in one way or another, we all together own this jet. So I'll book the jet for this day to go to Europe, and I get to fly there private. And then the next person that's in Europe that wants to go to the US, hey, guess what? I'm bringing the jet to you and you'll be able to take it. And we all own it, but no one owns it, And so this is in my opinion, the new way of being, not relying on a government daddy, or mommy, but all being able to expand in our own individual being and not being limited, because owning things, having attachment to things limits us. It definitely limits us. So, we're flowing today, guys. Gotta go up, catch up with all these questions. Real power created Bitcoin to me. We're shifting into a collective consciousness. Yes. Everyone's on a different dimension and timeline. We're in different realities. Yes, exactly. So this is where one thing that I've done for people in my life is, I had to write out a list of every person I come into contact with, even if it's only one time a year. And then I write a plus or a minus next to their name, just instantly asking, do they add to my life or do they take away from my life? And just by being conscious of, oh, wow, all these people are taking away from my life, the awareness of it will start to push them away a little bit, but also we'll be able to know, okay, maybe I should take space, It's good to have differing opinions, but it's only good to have differing opinions and people around you if those people are also in a humble place of, being interested in growing, being interested in sharing their ideas and sharing their points of view, which, people that are coming from ego, they're not in that space. Brandon said, don't think it will ever be dead, talking about Bitcoin, I'm sure, but I see it be using more as a store of value just because proof of work isn't as easy to scale. You're right. But I actually believe that proof of work, I think that proof of work is more secure than proof of stake. I definitely do. And I'm sure that this will continue to expand. But, yeah, when it comes to the resources of the computing, definitely that's harder to scale. But the electricity side, anyone that argues about electricity in Bitcoin is so uninformed. Like anyone that says that, they're literally saying what Fox News or CNN says. And their opinion, just like, if they say that Bitcoin's bad because of energy consumption, their opinion of like literally every other word they say about any subject, I'm going to question. I'm not going to listen to them because I know that they watch news. Because if you actually research, what one of the worst worst thing when it comes to energy consumption is the creation of lithium ion batteries. And guess where those go? In all the electric cars, which are supposed to be better for the environment. Do you see that? So, they didn't tell you that, did they? Watch this movie if you haven't. If you have the ability to in time. The future of digital currency gives off those vibes. What's the movie, Zoe? I don't know if you try to send a picture or something.
No, it's this I think it's Justin Timberlake and I don't know the chick, but they get digital currency
In time.
in time.
Yeah.
It's in like their wrists or something, and they like pay currency through that. I just think
That's
with all the
great.
things they've talked about with chips and stuff, I could be hundreds of years from now, who knows? I just always felt like that could be the actual future, especially when cryptos popped up in the scene back in 2016 or whatever. I just felt like, wow, like it really could be like that could be what we move towards.
It's
a cool
so
movie.
true, bro.
Yeah, I saw it like years ago, back when it first came out, and it just reminded me of it when you were speaking.
Yeah, this is a great movie. Now that you say that, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't put it together. You're so spot on. And actually, I'm so grateful that you brought that up because it is a way that the world could go. But one of the best things that I saw that movie represent that I think went over most people's head is, so in this movie, everyone, like, time is the currency, as Zoe was saying. And when you go and you work, you get a job, you have your job, you get more time. And so it was showing how some people, they are so broke, and they only have, maybe the next 24 hours. So they have to keep working to get more time so that they keep living. Because if their clock runs out, they're dead. And so they get to the age of 25, I think, is that right? And they stop aging. They just have that clock.
Yeah. And that's where like most of those who've, I guess, accumulated the most currency into their wrist they're all young living, but if they lose all their currency, they could die within an instant, and I think the chick next to him was like rich or something, and then she went from living really carefree lifestyle to now living in survival mode, which was really cool, like the consciousness that she had to engage in to be next to the guy that I guess she kind of fell into this with. It was really cool. Yeah.
So true. Yeah, and the biggest thing that you're saying, this is exactly what I want to mention, is because imagine this movie, or imagine if you're living off of time, literally if you run out of time, you're dead. So if you don't have much time in your wallet or in your wrist, like it shows in this movie, everyone's running. And it was interesting. So this guy, Justin Timberlake in the movie, he came across a bunch of time, or a bunch of money, if you will. And so what he was able to do was travel to, there's different zones where you had to have a specific amount of time to buy in, to pay the fee to get to this zone. And so that's the way they kept all the scarce low time people in a certain area. And so anyways, so he came across all this money. I don't want to give it away how it comes, but he had grown up though in this scarce thing where he like was living by 24 hours. And so he had the habit, just like everyone else in the lower time zones, they're running everywhere because they have to save their time and they're rushing, rush, gotta get there. And so it was amazing because this happens now. This happens in the world now. So then when he gets to the place where these people have all the time, they have tons of time and they could live forever if they just get enough time. They're all walking slowly. They're on any rush. They have nowhere to be, right? They have plenty of time and plenty of money, plenty of life, right? And so it's so interesting because living that way is literally how to tap into the frequency of abundance, of money, is not forcing, not rushing, nothing. So actually, I'm so stoked you brought that up because that was one of the biggest things that I got from that movie that I think went over a lot of people's head.
Yeah, same, brother. That's like why I love that movie. And I'm glad that you brought that up because I've always felt like the ability for us to understand that we already have what we are looking for. That's kind of what I got from it as well. There's no reason to be at a different speed. And coming from New York into Florida, I was always on like a commuter speed in my mind, and I saw it all over the subway systems, and I saw what humanity was doing all the time. So it's just, yeah, I'm glad that you put it in that perspective. Thank you.
Heck yeah. Yeah, so we take it slow, and I'm guilty, I will say, sometimes of like I like to rush things. I get so excited, and so sometimes I'll like mention things like, hey, we're doing this, and like act, it sounds like it's happening now, and I want it to, but realizing that it also takes time to build the best things. So yeah, it's a
The
great
other
lesson.
one, the
But
other movie was Hunger Games, I believe.
Hunger Games, yeah, that's very similar. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's so interesting because yes, these are movies that show, possible outcomes of where the world could go to, but also once again I believe it kind of shows at how the world is now. And so super cool. I'm catching up with some of these messages, but please, if anyone has any comments or questions, like feel free, you can unmute yourself. Like we're all welcome here. But either way, I'm gonna go through the comments here. Um, Alan, thanks for sharing all the gold. He says, I believe the wave of evil is over. We're going to heaven on earth, and enough of suffering. Yeah, so that's why we're all driven to build these communities, to build these safe spaces, because I think the consciousness really is, it's crazy, all the secret knowledge that's out, and a lot of the books that I read, they were just released between like 2012 and from 2012 to now. And so all this, it's just like, for whatever it is, all this knowledge is now available. And it's just all, everyone's catching up. So past life contracts, all that. Yeah, you can choose into any moment. So any karma you believe you have, we can neutralize it. It takes energy work. We got to move energy. We have to go into it, especially if we've held on to it for lifetimes or even this lifetime. But we can do that. And the way we do that is by cultivating energy. As we cultivate energy, it's going to bring us our more awareness. I actually have a full subconscious programming course. After this, I'm going in on that. Okay. I'm going to be finishing that hopefully today or tomorrow. If you've purchased my trading course, I'm just going to give it to everyone. I'll probably make it separate for everyone going forward, but then yeah, I'll have it available though separately too. Probably for the first like 10 people, I'm going to do it really cheap, like $200 or something, but I'm going to make this, it's going to be at least $1,000 thing, no doubt. Yeah, we'll go over energy though, and how to go into karma. I'll talk about that. We'll do all that. Are you even woke, bro? I love that. Brandon, so always got great energy. Thank you for always bringing that. Sanctuaries, yes. Inner Earth, Tesla. Yeah, so I love it, guys. It's all, we're in a great place. And just know though that like this world, just because we're expanding, like this world is full of ebbs and flows. Just like crypto's going up, or goes up and it goes down, which brings me back. I do want to go over the XRP chart, because if we keep going up, it could be a good time to buy. But let's wait a second. There's ups, downs, there's ebbs, flows. There's the tide goes in, the tide goes out, right? It's just, these are natural cycles. And these happen in our lives if we allow them. It's just a law of polarity. But we can overcome the universal law of polarity and other laws by using higher laws. So what I want to say is, even though polarity it happens, as long as we're doing in every moment, we're not coming to the conclusion of, oh, I made it, I got it, I've arrived, that we're always realizing that no matter how high we get, whether it's spiritually or emotionally or in our relationships or with our money, that we can always go to another level. And I find that for me, that polarity of like, once I'm going up, that the downward trend only comes when my ego takes over and is like, oh, I did it. I get to chill, I get to, like, I don't need to read. I don't need to grow. I don't need to learn more. I don't need to expand. I've got it. I figured it out. I got enough money, got enough this, got enough that. As soon as that happens, that's where I start to get the polar opposite, that the trend change in my life. And so one thing that's allowed me to continuously expand is realizing that no matter how high I get, I always can, I unlock higher levels. I can go higher. I can experience something greater. And once again, I believe that this is physically represented as how the universe is expanding, that we can continually do that as well. So this polarity, though, these ebbs and flows, it's got to happen because energy is not stagnant. Energy does not want to just stay still. Energy flows. Divine energy source creator flows. Okay. And so anything that's not flowing will die. That's just how it is, because that energy needs to go somewhere. So the energy is gonna leave that place and go somewhere else that is flowing and expanding. And so us as individuals, if we can constantly stay in that flow and in that expansion, we're gonna have more divine energy, we're going to live longer, we're going to be happier, we're going to be more creative, all of it, because we are being a channel for expansion, right? But once again, as soon as if we get to that point where we decide, I'm good, I made it, I have no more to grow, I don't need to go do yoga, or I don't need to read more about, energy cultivation, I don't need to cultivate any more energy, then of course we're becoming stagnant, and the energy is going to flow other places. So people say that we can't always keep chasing for the next thing, or else we're never satisfied, and we should just enjoy the present moment, be thankful. It's such a tricky balance of thoughts. So yes and no. So it's being always grateful for where you are, but why would we not want to find a new experience? Why would we not want to grow? Right? It's not being attached to the things. I want to buy every car because I love cars and my value is based off of cars. No, but if you want to have that experience of, I want to drive every car there is, every supercar on earth, you just want to have that experience because it's all a new experience for you. There's no issue, no problem with that. The problem comes from when you're attached to it, when that's my reason for being. That's why I do what I do. Because what's going to happen is we're going to experience, in this lifetime or in all the lifetimes, we're going to experience probably everything that there is to experience on earth. It might take a billion lifetimes to do it. But eventually our spirit being, our self, we're going to, because we're in the place we are, as long as we continue to expand, we choose to, we're going to realize that this earth is just temporary. It's actually one of the lower experiences. But we're not going to know that until we've mastered this physical realm. We must master the physical realm before we can travel to higher realms. That's just how it is. And so I would say that people that are like, no, don't chase things, like don't set goals, don't achieve things, just be happy where you are. They're kind of limiting themselves, and they maybe don't believe that they can accomplish amazing things. You can literally do anything you set your mind to. And while you're in this earth, which in my opinion, once again, isn't really real, it's as real as we make it, but why not, while we're in this physical experience, why not experience as much as absolutely possible? This is going to be a temporary experience. This isn't going to be a forever experience. Whether we leave this body behind or we take this body, we're able to alchemize it to a higher frequency, a lower density, and just take it with us to the next dimension, whatever. Doesn't matter. This world is a temporary experience. Okay. And so once again, why not? Why not? Why not try to drive every supercar? Why not try to travel to every country? That's not the reason for your happiness. That's not the reason for your joy. The reason for your joy is expanding. It's growing. It's, wow, this new experience, I now have a different point of view, So yeah, and also, I would just say, if anyone that tells you like how to live in any type of way, if they're like saying, hey, do this, try this, just look at where they are and ask yourself, would I ever trade places with this person? And if you wouldn't trade places with this person, then you don't want to listen to any of the words they have to say, I'm not going to say anything, but, with respect, you're not to take any of their advice though. But yeah, of course, if it's someone you look up to and you would trade places with them in a minute, of course, then their advice is going to have more value to you because they're living a life that maybe you're like, they have experiences that you want. So it's okay to want, but we must realize though, to ascend outside of this world, we do have to let go of the wanting. We have to let go of the desire. But that's the thing, is we can want, but know that I don't need to chase it. I'm not attached to the want. The having things is not what brings me my value. It's my value is inherent. I'm always a divine being. Whether I have 50 cars or I live in a box, my value is the same. I still have the inherent value, the divine abundant value, right? So yeah, being grateful. Yeah, just be grateful. Don't ever be sorry, bro. Never be sorry. It's just what you want to experience, you know? And also realizing, and Alan, you're so dope too. This is a great thing that's going on in your life too, is you chose to start a production company and you did really well, and you produced a bunch of videos, for weddings and I've seen a few different ones, music videos, tons of stuff, bro. And you were so passionate about it, and that's something you wanted to do. And before you started that, you'd never done it before, right? And you got to have all this experience, and now you've come to a space in your life, you're like, okay, well, I kind of like it, but I don't want to do it as a job anymore. I want to go on and experience something new, and that's okay. And that's how it's going to be, having money, not having money, having experiences, not having experiences doesn't change who you are as inherent. I would say the more experiences you have, the more expansive you are. You have more viewpoints, and you're going to be more open too, as well, to the fact that there are millions of viewpoints, billions, trillions, right? So I will say, actually, I do believe that, doing things and having new experiences makes us more expansive. So if that's the case, yeah, money in this physical world for now, we are bridging it to higher frequency. We're going to have a new financial system that's much more efficient in all of our lifetimes. So exciting to be alive. We all chose to be alive at this time. Such big transitions. Yes, it's a physical thing, but still in this world, it's used. A lot of people use it and accept it. So if you want to buy a yacht, you're gonna have to transfer the money right now. You might be able to do it with Bitcoin. I'm sure you could buy a yacht with Bitcoin if you offer the right person the money. But yeah, you're gonna have to, you're gonna use money or some kind of something worth the value. So once again, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Having money doesn't make you good, doesn't make you bad. You can experience as many things as you want. Just don't be attached to it. That's all. So I want to have a new experience. So yeah, lots of tangents today. We're going off. So I'm gonna flow into XRP here. We are bullish. We've come up. Let's see. Yesterday we had a pump. Last 2 days actually. We pumped up to 41, 42 cents, almost 43 cents, and we've come down now. Very clearly, we just made a new high based off of the local highs, like the local trend. So I can kind of draw this trend line here. It's not the prettiest, but you can kind of see that trend line there. Let me make it a different color and make it more clear. So very clearly, we broke above this trend line. We even retested it. We also just broke above this high. So we closed very strong candle above this previous high here. And the fact that we closed above that tells us that right now there's more buying momentum going on. So that is a strong support level that we've touched a couple times. And that was resistance back here in 2020, back here in 2021, also 2020 there, February 2020. So multiple times that area was a level. So we could have seen it. We've had some pretty bullish price action on the way up. We made a higher low. We had an engulfing candle. And then when we came down, we had another engulfing candle. We weren't able to break this low here. And we moved up. So now what I would say is the momentum is to the upside. But we just hit a bit of resistance at this level, 42 cents. We can see that we resisted this level over here between like 45 to 43 cents, 42 cents. That's a good resistance level. So here's what I would say is, personally, does it look good potentially that it could keep going up? Definitely. This bullish price action is, if you're wanting to buy XRP, this is a good type of price action that you want to see. And once again, even though I was stating all my comments earlier about XRP, I have to remind you that profits don't care about politics, So XRP will go up whether I think it's good or bad. Doesn't matter. Okay. So it's just that I know that I'll make tons and tons of money in so many different ways, and I'm all good. And so I want to, I'm going to just be more conscious about where I'm putting my money, even if it has zero effect on the things that I'm putting them in. So, or not putting them in. So what I would say is this area though of resistance, This is where I would want to see XRP break above before I really get serious about a buy. Okay. And so let's go out to the weekly and see what that looks like here. So weekly, it looks like we just tested, last week's weekly candle, we tested the moving average. And this one we've closed above, and now we tested the top Bollinger Band. And we've seen some resistance so far, but this is still a strong candle. We're not moving down really fast and strong. So there's potential that it could keep going up. Same thing here on the weekly. I want to see us move above that level before I'd want to buy. So in this case, part of this is because I'm thinking of all the rest of crypto, but also part of this is because of the actual price action, the actual pattern in the chart. Because we've had resistance at this level, we can see right here. I can draw this box out. We can just look at this red line. Resistance here at this level, about 43 cents. We can see it was support back here. We can see it was support right here. We can see this area was resistance here in 2019, also in 2018. It was support here in July 2018. So multiple times this is a level that's been tested. So to know, I would want confirmation. If we're going to go up, I want confirmation. So this is the way that all crypto is for me right now. I'm either going to buy lower or I'm going to buy higher. And I'm fully comfortable and I'm fully cool doing it because as a trader, I want to protect my risk as much as possible. Protect my account. Risk, use the proper risk management to make sure that my account's protected. Because I don't want to just jump in feeling like it's kind of bullish now because crypto, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I've been so many times I've traded and I've been faked out that I bought and I thought I was going to pump and it didn't pump or it pumped a little bit and then it ended up going lower than what I bought at. And because of my experience in crypto, especially, I wait for confirmation. So for me, what I would say is if we're going to go up, I would want to see us break that 40, 43, 44 cents. And then maybe even go a little higher. And then I would wait for us to retest to make sure that 43 to 45 cents was support before I got in. Otherwise, strong level of resistance also at this 55 cents level. So now this is how I see it as trading. So I personally would not buy until we're above 44 cents and we are retesting it. We've even gone a little higher and come back and retested. And so to me, what a beautiful, possible situation is where these wicks are, also kind of where these wicks are. We come up, we test that level at 50, 52 cents, and then we come down and retest 45, and then we go up from there. So that's where I would look at is once we go up and come down and retest. Now, if we pump really hard, which is not so likely because we can just look at in all market turnarounds, the strong, fast pump doesn't happen until we've started to gain momentum, So like right here, this upward trend for the crypto bull run, it started in 2020. We dipped down. I remember being there. I was camping in Arizona at this time when the market just dipped so heavy in March. And we just went on an uptrend from there. So we already were moving up, but you see how like this, here we poked up above a couple highs with this high here, and then we came down and retested. And then we showed momentum that we were going to go up higher. So we have plenty of space and time where we're not going to miss the strong pump if we're paying attention. And I'm even showing on the weekly candle right now, the weekly chart. So I'm not in a rush. Once again, going back to the movie in time, right? The rich people, they ain't worried. They ain't running. They ain't hustling. I don't need to buy right now. I'm going to wait for the perfect time. And so I want to wait till that momentum is well on its way up before I'm buying, or that we've gone down and a lot more and we can see some very obvious support. But also realize like the cycle, this could be over a few years and we got to be super cool with that. Like, let's look at the last market cycle, which yes, even XRP, see it pumping really hard after the SEC lawsuit ends in like 6 years. You think it'll go on that long? That would be intense. Yeah, I'm sure it will. I don't think though crypto will take that long. I mean, I know you're being okay, fair enough. Like I knew you were being a little bit over dramatic, but I still, like it could go on a while. They were saying maybe by the end of this year, but here we are close to the end of this year and it's still going. So they've been getting their self in place, moving their pawns, getting people in the government, and so that's fair enough. They've been saying it for 2 years. Yeah, I think that everyone knows that once the SEC case is done, like a bunch of people will buy in and it'll pump fast and strong. Yeah, also, if they are working on the infrastructure for the financial system for central banks, they're also going to connect it to the SEC. They're going to tell, hey, let's stretch this case out until we've figured out all this infrastructure. Let's get everyone who wants to be part of this financially in place. And then let's talk about the release of SEC case. And then, oh yeah, let's add to the pump. And let's say, hey, by the way, central banks are going to use XRP's technology. So the SEC has a node on the XRPL. Interesting. Yeah, so exactly, it's something to see. Okay, but zooming out, like I gotta go to an older XRP chart. Bitstamp. Right? I'm trying to get XRP prices from 2018 too, because XRP was a problem back then. Okay, boom, there we go. You guys see that XRP pumped higher in 2018 pump than it did in this crypto bull run? Last one, it went up to $3.32. And the XRP founders have been dumping on their people since then. Anyway, yeah, look at how long this is an strong, fast upward movement. Here's a strong, fast upward movement, not nearly as up. And look how long we went down and sideways before we ever started pumping again. We're talking 3 years, guys. So just know, like, we've been going down now for about a year. Okay, so totally could for the next couple of years. Like, let's just look back, look at every little pump, how it ends up going down. Here we pumped, we went down further. We pumped a little bit, we went down further. Pumped, we went down further, right? So we could say the same thing, pump, just to end us, build liquidity to go down lower. So yeah, like just look at this. This is the cycle of XRP. Bitcoin's the same. Obviously, and we could look at silver. Silver is also the same. Just gotta let it load here. But silver also goes through market cycles, just as gold, just as any market does. We have the ups, we have the downs. Let's go to a weekly chart on silver here. It's interesting that you can see the same patterns on crypto, the same ebbs and flows. Like look at this. We were just looking at the XRP chart, and silver looks the exact same. We went up, we went down sideways for a long time to pump again. All right, this is silver, right? Should we go back to the XRP chart again? Or let me just pull up a couple. Where music at? Oh dang, we are already been on for almost a couple hours. This has been a good one, guys. I love flowing like this. Talking about all of it. Okay, so XRP, go to Bitstamp. I'm also gonna do one here. Bitstamp, Bitcoin being, go to weekly. So look at this. This is XRP, up, down, up, right? This is silver, up, down, up, right? Same pattern. This is Bitcoin, up, down, up, right? And you can even go back here, up, down, up. Also, look at how, let's compare Bitcoin, the pump in 2017, I mean, and look how much bigger this one was. And look at XRP, pump in 2018 was way bigger than this pump in 2017. So which pump keeps getting bigger? Which one's a better investment? I'm just saying. Okay, Bitcoin's had these patterns, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So, and silver, gold obviously is the same. We could also, the stock market is the only thing that's different but the stock market was designed to go up forever, to just keep going up. They designed it that way, but still we can go and find these same patterns. Going a little slow. You can see this in wheat, rice, barley, real estate. All markets do these same things. Bitcoin did the same as XRP, but it's a full cycle or more ahead in its timeline. I mean, yeah, sort of. Like, that's the thing is, you want to say that Bitcoin did the same thing as XRP, but actually XRP did the same thing as Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the first blockchain to actually exist publicly, and yeah, first mover advantage, sure. But XRP wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Bitcoin being created. So, yeah. Zoe's raising his hand. Feel free, bro. Just unmute if you have a thought.
No, I just wanted to say it's important to note, like what you were looking at just now, gold, silver, Bitcoin, it's all powered by belief. So as long as we are noticing where that power of belief is shifting, we'll be ahead of what we're like trying to actually, cultivate abundance with. So yeah, I just want to bring that to attention. I know you're very well aware of that, Cody. I'm just saying it to the group as well. So.
Yeah, no, please, thank you for sharing that for everyone too. Because yeah, you're spot on, man. Spot on, and it's just funny. It's like the people that can't shift and move and change with the times, they'll get left behind. This is how it goes. It's how it goes always. Yeah. You can't show a picture across the world on a screen. Can't do that. You can't send a digital mail to people. You can't do that. You can't send digital money to people. You can't do that. Yeah. So anyway, but it's good. We all know we're all in a good spot. So I'm feeling like gonna wrap this up a bit. So I think a couple thoughts I want to do or wrap it up with. First one is, I think the biggest point of this whole live stream is that we can create our world no matter what. And the things that we subscribe to are they're going to contribute to how our world is created. So all the people that we talk to and interact with or watch on social media or whatever, all the websites we go to, all the videos we watch, all the music we listen to, these are all the things that are going to contribute to our life. And then of course, our own inner thoughts, our own subconscious beliefs, our own being. So we also have the power to totally mold that in the way we want. So if we want to experience something different in life, and it's okay to want to experience something different, something new, and you're going to experience that for a while and realize, hey, I want another something different and new. And that's how we grow. That's how we expand. And that's okay. It's our natural being. And very, very clearly look at everything and everyone in your life, everything that you're putting your energy to, even if it's for 1 second in your day, and ask, is that contributing to the world that I would like to witness or that I would like to experience? And so let me tell you, like watching the news, I used to do that a lot. I don't do that anymore, that's for sure. I haven't done that for a while, because all those things, it's all fear-based and it's all created to move a certain belief system. And once you're out of it for a while and you're not in the program, you can really start to see how many clowns exist in that space. Anyways, you just pay attention to things that you're subscribing to with your energy in your life, and you're subscribing with your attention, with your thoughts, with your 5 senses. If you're listening to something, talking about it, whatever, you're giving it energy and you're expanding it in your life and in the world. So instead of focusing on all the things that you don't like, you don't want, start focusing on the new things. What are you going to create? What's next? Do you want to be part of a community? Do you want to create a community? Do you want to see a new country, right? Okay, well then go think about that. Think about what that country looks like. Go research, pictures and look up flights and all that, right? Don't need to be watching the news about what's going on, 5 countries over from where you want to go. And add that. No, that's not going to get you what you want. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's how I feel. And I absolutely love, everyone go check out that movie In Time. It is a good movie. This is actually one of my favorite movies. It's done so well, and I've seen it probably like 6 times. I'll probably watch it again now just because it was brought up again. Because
Cody, where to watch a movie like this? I don't have a television and I never know how to do this online without paying for this. Or do we have to pay? That's fine too, but I would like to have a tip how to watch a movie like that.
let's see, they have it on Amazon Prime, and it's on Hulu also. So that would be the way. I would just go to, you could do, I think, 30 days free with Hulu, and then Amazon,
Okay.
it looks like to rent it, you have to do, yeah, you can rent it for $3. So, but I would just use a VPN to say that you're in the US and
Yeah.
and then get it there. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm stoked, guys. Okay, last thing I want to say. So tomorrow, get out. It's really good. And Justin Timberlake's a great actor. Is there another spot I should show? No, I won't spoil it. So heck yeah. Okay. And research how Ripple has the connections to the IMF and central banks. And it might make you want to buy some, but that's to me, I just, that makes me want to not buy some. That makes me want to sell as much as I can. I want to buy some just so I can sell it. Just kidding. Yeah, so I love you guys. I appreciate you all, every one of you being here. The messages you posted contributes to the energy. Just watching also contributes to the energy. So I really appreciate that too. For those in the coaching, we have our group call on Saturday. Okay, so full access. If you've got either the group coaching or even one-on-one coaching, you can hop on. We're going to be going over trading plan and all that. And yeah, everything else, just stay tuned. So love you all. Cheers, guys. See ya.